anyway, she works in the museum, and her husband was timberman. He was, not what they call him anyway. Yeah, but he was working he used to work for the tribe in their timbers, and scaling log. That's what it was, scaling the timber to find out how much timber is in the area and so forth. So somebody hired him out to do something else on the weekend, and he went out and he said he encountered this terrible smell, but it didn't last too long. And so he said, "You suppose that's Sasquatch?" And he come and told his wife, and then she told me, and he finally told me about it. But what was it? Or no, I don't know.
Well, it's an interesting story, or the stories are important, I think, about the smell, because from what I've read, that was the first time anyone talked about this was talking about Bigfoot or Sasquatch, and then knowing that these gorillas and maybe some other primates do this also came afterwards.
Yep.
So why someone would make this up about a Bigfoot, and when no one knew that anything does this, well, except a skunk.
That's
so
right.
that's a really interesting bit of evidence, and it's really powerful because people have been reporting this for a very long time.
That's right.
And it was only until relatively recently that we find out that there are some known apes that do this.
Yeah, the first I ever heard of it was John Bendernagel's book.
Yeah.
And, so I don't know, but
Yeah, I think someone else had written about that too, but they might have the same source.
it could be, I don't know. But anyway, it was interesting.
That there's
And,
something happening out there.
And you know, the one thing too, though, I've had a lot of people ask me, well, where are they at? Well, they go to Bluff Creek to see them. They're around here too. I've
I've had them. I've had reports right behind my store. I had something come in my yard, which is just a little around a mile on the same ridge here. Stomping in the backyard, up Panther Road.
Oh, up Panther Road?
Up at the top of Panther Road.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Thing was coming down the hill, and it sort of tripped or something, like boom, boom, boom.
Oh,
Really heavy, It didn't sound like a deer kind of bound.
Yeah, deer don't make that much noise.
I hear people tell me, like Waterman Ridge,
Well,
all over.
well, there's been sightings. When the National Geographic was coming, I advertised for anybody that had seen one to let me know. Well, I had this call from, not from Orleans, from, next town up the river.
Which peg?
No, upriver, more upriver.
Happy Camp?
Towards Happy. It was this way anyway.
Sayad Valley or whatever they call it.
Anyway, I returned her call, and I said, well, where'd you see it? Where was it now? She says, 4 miles west of Willow Creek. At 4 o'clock one morning. I said, well, what you doing?
On the 299?
And she said, I drive a produce truck. And she came through there early. 4 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, just things like this. And there've been several sightings between here and Boise Creek.
Yeah, just right out of town, pretty much.
Yeah. And one I heard about, and I was surprised. This guys I knew about. They knew about it. They did, but they didn't tell me. I knew all these guys. Several of them saw it just below the lookout up here on Brush Mountain. But they knew long before. They finally told me just a few years ago that they saw this one up there. And a bunch of not hunting.
Who were they though? Who saw them up there?
I see. One of them was Brown down here.
Local people.
Okay. Which Brown is it? I can't remember.
Well, just local people. Right?
Yeah. Just local people.
Because like I've heard up at the Brush Mountain Lookout, the woman up there is footprint finds. And
I've wondered about her. I'm not really sure, Well, I don't want to. I don't like to call anybody a liar, but I don't know. I'm not sure what to say. I really don't. I really kind of think maybe she did, but I was kind of, some people want to see one so bad, and I don't know.
Some people,
I would not say she's a liar by any means.
you could have someone who's a liar who could also really see a Bigfoot.
That's right. That's right. Go.
But I mean, I've heard other reports, like sightings just last summer on the Friday Ridge Road, like an actual sighting.
Well, it could be.
And the year before that, there was a sighting back further up, and then before that was the woman seeing them on the lookout.
Yeah, you see, I'm out of the loop anymore. I don't hear
Yeah.
a lot of those things happen. In fact, people ask me. In fact, Paul Edson, he asked me here just a while back. I just don't know. I'm just out of the loop. I don't know what to hear.
Well, I'll call you if you want to hear about that. You could come with us right now to the.
Well, I don't mind it. I don't mind
fire.
hearing about it. I'm not going to go out chasing all over it, but I don't mind hearing it.
Now, by the time you get there, they're probably long gone.
Oh
anyway.
yeah, sure they are.
Like I think maybe just stay put where you are. And like my yard, it's like in the woods. It's like back up on this hill.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm already Sasquatch hunting just by sitting there,
That's right.
reading a book or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. But these, I don't know how they travel, but I suspicion a lot of times it's up some of the stream beds. And if you're near a stream, in fact, I know the mountain lions are this way. They're going up there. And just like Steve Payne,
Mm-hmm.
he's right there at the mouth of Victor Creek, not the mouth of it, but he goes right in the tunnel there.
Yeah, where his house is.
Yeah, and he sees a lot of cats there. But they use that. They come down there, they come down those creeks. And
Don't I know it? I used to live right up on the top of the terrace, right around the corner from there.
yeah,
And we used to have mountain lions all the time.
Yeah.
The lady across the street from us fed all the stray house cats. So the raccoons would come around for that food, and then pretty soon other creatures, skunks, and you hear them squabbling out there, and then pretty soon you started hearing about mountain lions coming. We had them like walking right down the street in the middle of the road. But there's that creek that right by Delaney there.
sure. Oh, yeah,
So yeah, they're definitely cruising that area, eating cats and.
sure. And they just know they travel those stream beds. Now, like in here, we rarely ever anything in here. But over in China Creek or Butterfly Creek, either one. They come down there quite often. And they get out from the creek itself a little bit, but not usually this far out. They're traveling more in the creek beds and close in.
Well, that Bloody Nose Creek is kind of like a rugged
Yeah,
canyon all around it, too.
It's a
hard to-
little bit different there, yeah. Because it comes up on top and it's kind of houses right up against it almost.
Mhm.
Yeah. And but all that area, that's a different area. That's but anyway, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much at the point where we should stop because it's been a couple hours now. And we were supposed to go see these other people.
Uh-oh.
If you want to come, we're going to go out to Oden Flat. There's
No,
been a Sasquatch sighting. I know you have to stay.
No, I shouldn't go out. If you see something good, let me know about it. But I don't need to.
There was a sighting.
Yeah, sighting.
A young 15-year-old girl and her friend were playing out in the yard. A few other friends out there. The dad was gone. He'd gone away. He's out in his truck driving, and they saw something behind the bush, and it looked like a bear, and she's like standing there. Wow, what is that moving there? At the edge of the woods. And then once she started looking right at it, it reached up an arm, grabbed a branch, and like pulled itself up and stood up, and it was like 7 foot something.
Wow.
Standing there right in front of her. It was so kind of twilight and shadowy, but she was able to see the form, the color, the shagginess of the hair, how long it was. 4 feet wide in the shoulders.
Sometimes you don't know about kids either.
She's-
Us as well. Now this one, they told me about this one in the dentist's office in Eureka. They told me, and I passed it on to Dave, Paul's. And so he talked to her. It was all but fine until he asked her to sign an affidavit Wouldn't do it. So that kind of tells you that it's probably not true.
Well, I don't know how Dave does it with the affidavits, because my experience is people will tell me about Bigfoot after maybe seeing me in my shop a few times, and then one day they'll kind of shyly say, I saw one of them, or
Well, but the thing of it is, I don't know. I would, if you're taking all the whole thing on it and everything, then if you really are serious, unless you don't know what an affidavit means, it just means that you're swearing that that's true, and so you should have no reason.
But you have to put your name. Like a lot of people around here don't want to be made fun of. They don't want their name on a document.
I understand that. I don't blame them there.
Like
that part,
they'll tell me their story because they've grown to kind of trust me or whatever.
They trust you.
But I ask them, can I write some of this down and put your name on it? Put it on my blog, and they're like, no. Where do you live? Well, I can't tell you exactly where I live because I grow pot out there. Something, they don't want a bunch of Bigfoot hunters coming on their property.
Yeah, I know. But they're right. And pot, there's so much pot now around here.
It's everywhere.
I know. I'm against it, but I think the only thing to do is, honestly, is to legalize it. I hate to say it, but I think it's the only thing. Because it's so far out of hand now that they'll never get control of it.
It's like the mafia or something taking
right.
over. You can feel it, like a criminal feeling of.
I met a guy. I met a guy not too long ago, and he was telling us that he knew this guy. The guy stopped to see him. He had $100,000 in the cab, and he said it had more in the trunk.
Jeez.
But he said, I can't get out of it now. I'm into it. There's no way I get out. But he said, it's lots of money, but that's all it is.
And then, why would you want to work for a living when you can?
Well,
why open a hardware store or a bookstore when you can?
But the thing of it is, now he has no life. He can't get out. There's mafia. He's in it. And I think that's the only thing to do because there's so much pot growing in this part of the country.
Yeah, I'd love to see it legal just so they don't have their criminal black market anymore.
That's right.
Make it legal, make it grow in the backyard instead of ruining everybody's houses and stuff.
Yep. This house right down here, it's just a grow house. and they're all over town.
You kind of worry if, your kid lives next door to one, like mine does. Or
Sure.
They were growing next door. No, I don't think they are now. But at one time, you could hear the fans running all day, all night. They had suspicious behavior out in the front yard.
Yeah.
You just knew it was happening.
Well,
Drapes closed.
Well, one day I never knew what pot smelled like. And I smelled it a couple of times, and then somebody told me what it smelled like skunk. Well, anyway, one day horrible. And I said, all right, where's that coming from? I looked down here, and it was coming from this fireplace. Right up here, right across here.
They were burning it, and
Yep.
probably burning the scrap
The
stems
scraps.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a lot of nerve there.
I know. And I thought I should maybe tell them that, hey, be careful what you're doing, burning pot in the fireplace. Cause but I
It's
could see
kind of
the
like
smoke.
advertising.
Yeah. But
Smoke signals.
Come on here, rob my house. Or
We go to Burnt Ranch most every Friday, a Bible study up there. And we, in the summertime, went by up here. You could smell it halfway up to Burnt Ranch. There at all the Hayden's Flat, not Hayden, there as you go past the turn they just got through, other side of Sawyer, they just got through
Odin Flat.
Yeah, and Holden Flat. I know. Horrible smell. Got up to Hawkins Bar again.
Yeah, there's a lot of pot growing and stuff out
It
in
sounds like it.
Trinity County is
Yeah.
worse than Humboldt.
There's just all
Like they consider Willow Creek like conservative town.
yeah.
Like go out there, it's just like open. No one cares.